Hi, it's Jooya from Jooya Teaching Resources, and in this little video I'm going to walk you through a great little bundle that you can use with a lot of different classes. Anyway, so this is my store, and if you go to Save with Bundles, you will find this lovely little resource here, World Music Mini Bundle. So in that this little collection are four different resources that tie in so lovely together. So there's a unit of work, some instrument studies, a bulletin board kit, as well as an assignment. Okay, so here's the four different things. So let's have a closer look at what we've actually got in each of these products so you have a good understanding of what's there. Okay, so let's go here. And sorry, I've actually got them already here. So let's have a look at the instrument studies. So in here you've got stacks of instruments. So there are 42 of them. So there's a whole heap of African instruments. So again, if you want to use this in distance learning, you might want to put in a link, okay, on the page and then get the kids to fill these out, okay? Or you could even have it displayed. You might want to read some information and then they do this on a page, like on your Google Docs or something separately. Okay, so stacks of African instruments, as you can see. And then we go to the Indonesian gamelan instruments, so from Bali. And then some Chinese instruments. Now after this you'll see that these lovely instruments are more Western European folk instruments from lots of different cultures across the globe. And then you also get some rock instruments and a blank one for you to use there. So that's in that. So the other thing that you get in this bundle is this African music assignment. Now you might want to choose, you can use the same format and just instead of using African music, you might say do Chinese music or Irish music or whatever it happens to be. And you might want to change this up. But the thing, this one, you get the idea of what you could be doing. The idea would be is that you've got your marking rubrics that students choose a piece of music to perform. So in this one, I said I use it with my African unit that we do with my grade 7s and sometimes grade 8, depending on the school I'm at. This is Obi Senyana, another one Banawa, but you might want to change it out to another piece that you know. It doesn't have to be those ones. Then there's the student pages, the handouts, okay, for them to use, as well as a performance review. Now you don't have to do that bit. It depends on my class if I choose to use those performance review parts, but they do like doing them. Okay, then what also you get in there is these two versions. Okay, again, like all my other products, you get an interactive whiteboard version for the complete unit of work, okay, which goes through all those instruments that we just saw before. So we get, you can see here, Africa, we go through African instruments and some performance pieces and listening, and then Chinese instruments, again, a performance piece in there, wherever it is, those two songs, okay, and then a listening piece, and then of Indonesian instruments, okay, so stacks of information, world maps, just so kids get an idea of where you are. So wherever you are in the world, you can point it out and say this is where it is, or I'm in Australia and this is where it is, okay. And then obviously lots of great information for you to use, how to make in djembe, lots of links to videos so kids are interested and have a look, some nice simple questions for them to answer. All you have to do is click on those headphones and you will go straight to the instrument, the video, okay. And then performance pieces. And as you can see, that was another listening thing. The kids love this one. I've got you grade 8s that just love that one. Again, from China, and you can see then lots of instruments. Now, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I do. If you click on each one of these instruments, you'll actually go to how these instruments are used, what they sound and look like. And again, you can do that with obviously the African as well. So lots of great stuff for the kids to look at. You don't have to do much. You just have to basically teach it. Okay. That is a fun one. Mission Impossible with the gamelan instrument and a couple of performance pieces. And then again, another assignment. This is slightly different, but basically the same thing. Okay, that's in there. Alrighty, and then obviously a printable version. So this is the one, I print these out one between two with the kids. And then I said the only time I will give them actually these sorts of things to glue in their books so they can have a look at where these things are. But you can see it's exactly the same, okay? And again, I don't print these out for my kids. It said it's in the book. We read the information. Read the information. Then we do the activity. We just put in the heading, which is usually like African music, summarising, power of three. I'm Australian, so that's why it's got an S. I know you, like America, you like to use a Z. And then we actually do that in our books without the worksheet. We just write it 3 important points from the text, and we come up with that 3 questions and then a 3-sentence summary. Okay, and depending on the class, we either do this all together or they can do it independently. Again, depends on the literacy level of the class that I have. So that's the units of work. So I said an interactive whiteboard version as well as a printable version. And then the other wonderful thing that you get in this to include and to use on display is this bulletin board kit. Now, lots and lots of things in here. So you can see, so we've got some borders. So 2 to a page. I tend to use these ones and I print them onto coloured paper so that I'm not using, you can use the colours. Now, the thing is, in all these, the border is basically the same, changes colour, and then it goes to dots. So you can have dots or stripes or there's chevron. Okay, so that's that one. Then, I'll close all tabs. Then in there, you've also got some bunting. So, a good handy thing, I'll just show you really quickly. If you want to print, okay, and if you do this, and you go print, and you go multiple, and see how I've got 2 by 1. Now, I'm going to go by 1 by 2 here, and I'm going to go landscape. Oops, no, actually portrait, sorry. And then you can actually get 4 letters to a page. Now, the other wonderful thing if you've got using this is that you can decide what pages you want. So if you are spelling out a word, you can just go through, find the letters that you want, and you type them in page 2, 5, 7, whatever it happens to be. And then when you print, you can get that. So if you want to go even smaller, especially if you're doing distance learning, and you need to make things a little bit smaller because you haven't got a great big bulletin board. Okay, let's just go. Here we go. So they go a little bit smaller. So let's see what it looks like. We go landscape. Yeah, so that's a better fit to the page. So you can see how many letters you can get to the page. And that means you can make your things a bit smaller and easier to print. So there's letters there that you can use for that. Okay, again, they're in both chevron and dotty for that one. That's why it's so many pages. And then a couple of other things. You get these, every instrument. Again, it's with chevron and the dotty ones. So if I just go, here we go. So you can see the dot ones as well. Alrighty. Spotty ones at the back. Again, these look great on coloured paper. You can make them smaller. However, I have made smaller cards 4 to a page that you can use as well. If you're in the classroom, it's a good thing to use, like for sorting activities and all sorts of things. But if you are focusing on an instrument, so you might be focusing on percussion instruments, African percussion instruments, you might want to have these displayed so that we can, have those nice and big so people can have a look and your students can have a look. Again, these aren't colour, these are deliberately black and white so that you can print onto coloured paper. And then if we have a look, we've got the small picture cards, exactly the same. Again, you can see that there's, we go here, and if I go through, I always give you a blank one, some blank ones. Then you've got dotties. Okay, so some spotty dotties, as well as chevron in the background. And again, they all match up. So we've got the African instruments, gamelan instruments, and Chinese instruments as well, and then some little maps. Okay, in these ones, there are not the the Western European instruments aren't included in this one. Okay, and then the other thing that you get in there as well, okay, so we've gone through all those, is some ICANN statements. Okay, so depending on what you want, if you need to use those, these are just not necessarily just for world music, these are just general ICANN statements for different grades for music. Okay, so that's what you can find in this wonderful bundle here, World Music Mini Bundle, which honestly is enough work to keep you going for a whole term. It's got everything that you need there. Have fun. Until next time, I'm Jooya from Jooya Teaching Resources.